Hey everybody, this is DJ G Root, and now I'm fleshing out my brake system on my Honda Pilot 2011. Never done it before. I bought an air compressor, which I always tried to avoid, but I did. I got one, and I also got one of those brake bleeding systems. And I got it at Harbor Freight. Cost me 99 bucks. I think it's called Halt something. But so I'll show you what that looks like and maybe give you some tips. Alright guys, so let me see. Now I'm doing the front tire here. First thing we do is follow the brake line and find the bleeder nut. And it's got the nipple on there, and I've never taken this off before. That's why I'm gonna have to use this, kind of twist it off, hopefully, without breaking it. It looks like it's working, sort of. And don't lose this, because one of my other ones on my other car, after I put it on, I guess pressure built up after I put it on like this, and I was done. And then when I rechecked to see if it was on, this thing flew over to the other side of the car. And you can see how little this is. You don't want to do that, because if you lose it, then you have to buy another one or put something over this, because this keeps all the junk, especially water, I guess, from going inside there, and you don't want that. I don't know how often you bleed your brakes, but I'm going to put this down here so I don't lose it. That's probably a bad place to put it. Alright, and then what I've been doing is, where's that stuff? Put this silicone stuff on here around the outside. I don't know if it's good to do that or not, but just to kind of, when I loosen the nut, to get the kind of seal the air from creeping in there, right? So put that on there a little bit. It can't hurt, could it? I don't know. Maybe if you get it down in there, it probably won't be too good a thing to do, but let's see if I got some paper to wipe off a little bit of the excess here. Alright, now I'm going to hook up my brake bleeder kit. Well, first I want to loosen this. I've been putting it on first and then loosen it, but it's not easy to do. So now I'm doing it. Kind of rusted up. Where's my other light? Oh, sorry, I can't see that. Dang, isn't that rusty as 10 won't fit? There it is. Oh, that's tight, so I'm gonna go up. Oops. Ooh, what's on there? I'm gonna have to put this on pause while I figure it. Put some of this blaster penetrating fluid on it, and it loosened it. Oops, maybe too much. But I'm surprised that stuff worked. I let it sit for like 20 minutes. The heck? It worked. Alright. Hope I didn't just let air in there. Not paying attention. Alright, so let me put this up and get this thing started. Alright, so here's the device that I got. Oops. And you connect it to the compressor hose. I got this cheap at Walmart. And I got this guy, the Halt something brake bleeding kit. It does say Halt on it. Yep. And then I connected it to the, let me turn on the light so you can see. the caliper bleeding nipple there, and you can see my fluid is dirty. I've had this car 14 years and I've never bleeded it before. So you could see it was green when I drained it initially from the master cylinder, and coming out, it comes out green for quite a while. Now you could see this thing's got quite a bit of fluid in it. So, and it takes a while to do this, but the system does work. This brake bleeding kit, I guess you could call it. And but it does require some patience, because as you can see, I'll turn it on and you can see what I'm talking about. It's not something that happens right away, and you gotta slowly do it. Right now it's barely coming out. I don't know why. There it goes. Must have been at a bad angle. It starts bubbling, you know, but they say it comes from here, the bubbles, and as long as they're coming out, it's supposed to be okay. That's why I prop this up here like this. You can see it's green. It's almost like a algae consistency. It's really weird. That's what it looks like. So sometimes I slow it down. If I slow it down or shut it off, and you can see there's bubbles in there, but my other car did it. Same thing happened. There are bubbles, but there are the bubbles coming out. Hopefully they're not going in. And so I just try to slow it down so maybe I don't have too much suction. That's why I said you have to have some patience. You can still see it's a greenish color because the brand new brake fluid that I got from Honda, it's so clear you could barely see it. And so I also had to control the PSI on my air compressor, and it just kicked off now. So I had to control that because of this fault. I think it says don't go over 100 or something like that. I don't know. I have to read the instructions again. But I limited mine to like 60 PSI so I wouldn't blow out the air compressor. So anyway, this is going up here, and it's odd because it slowly comes out. It's not coming out like an even stream like you would expect. And here's the control knob here. You can see it start shooting out of there. And I want to show you guys one more thing. And so this is the other thing. This comes with the kit. This is like a reservoir like you would have for your hamster. And as long as it's in the fluid, which you can't see from here, and it's hard to see because the fluid is crystal clean, the brand new one. Although in here you can see it's got kind of like a tint, but when it's in this other, the master cylinder reservoir, it's crystal clear and it's hard to see. So this drips in when the reservoir for the master cylinder brake fluid runs low. And you can see this is at an angle, so it didn't really fit straight up in my Honda Pilot, but in my Ford Fusion, it did, because this thing, you can see this is in the way here. So, but I still made it work, which was pretty good. So, just a couple things to keep in mind. Here's the Honda 3.5, right? Honda Pilot 2011. Still going strong. Got 117,000 miles on it. So, well, that's all, everybody. I just want to tell you really about this brake bleeder system. It does require a compressor. Some of the hand pump ones don't, but then I read some not great responses to those reviews. But this one seems to work. So let me see any other tips. I put this on there to try and cut down on the air bubbles. I saw some other mechanic on YouTube did that. How effective is that? I don't know. And my other car came out pretty good, so well, that's all. Thanks. Good luck. All right, so I'm done with this one. The tank's getting kind of full. So gotta clean up some of this brake fluid, and I'm gonna put everything back together, and then I will work on the last tire, the driver's side. Okay guys, so on the left is my old brake fluid, and on the right is the excess new brake fluid for my Honda Pilot, and you can see one's obviously darker on the left compared to the brand new leftover brake fluid that once you open it, you gotta throw it out, from what everything I'm reading through YouTube and instruction manuals and the bottle and the company. So yeah, there's a difference. On the left is brake fluid that's never been changed before. It literally sat in my car for 14 years. You would think it would come out like sludge, but it didn't. I mean, it's obviously darker. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to demonstrate that there is a difference. Okay, that's it. Well guys, I just finished both of my cars. The Ford Fusion Hybrid and Honda Pilot. Honda Pilot 2011, Ford Fusion Hybrid 2013. And there's a huge mess on the floor. Bunch of rags and fluid all over the place. And you know, I like working on cars, and I mostly do it for the experience, and then I can buy new tools and all that. So it was satisfying, but I would say if you're in a rush and you don't like cleaning up a huge mess, I would say just pay the money. Have these guys that do it every day, 10 times a day on 10 different cars, and then they can knock it out. Or if you're like me that likes to tinker around with your cars and do the brakes and do the whatever, go ahead and do it. But now I've got this Halt brake bleeding kit from Harbor, and Harbor Freight. And now, when's the next time I'm gonna do that? Probably never again. It's $100. So it's something that you might want to think about. All right. So, well, that's all. Good luck if you're gonna bleed your brakes. For one vehicle, it wasn't too bad, but for two, I did both my cars. It took. I didn't try and kill myself. I was taking time. So I did one on one day, I did one yesterday, and then today I did my other car. So, But again, if you don't like a mess and you don't like to, I don't know, all kind of stuff happens, right? Dropping screws, dropping caps. They disappeared. I lost 2 caps, and then I found them, and then, you know, but it's also a neat hobby, so it's up to you. All right, that's it. DJ G. Roo doing the brake bleeding. And both cars seem fine now. All right, thanks. I'm out.